I grew up poor, and when I say poor, I mean poor. I was homeless. My parents had abandoned me when I was just a toddler. My uncle had managed to raise me himself, but eventually he died when I was just 13 years old. I didn't want to move into a foster home and definitely not an orphanage, so I decided to run away. I learned to live on my own, and I managed to get by, but it was hard, very hard. Let me tell you my story. Before I go on, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more crazy stories. It was hard learning how to survive on my own. I only had a few belongings and no money at all. It was also pretty dangerous for a young girl like me to live out on the streets, but I taught how to defend myself, and pretty soon I was part of a gang of homeless people, and we all looked out for each other. I was smart. I knew how to manipulate people and how to talk to them in order to get what I wanted. But life was really tough. I barely got enough food to keep me from starving. I lived under a bridge, and sometimes I could hear the rats crawling around me. When I was young, many kind people offered me food and water and gave me money. But as I grew older, people became less and less generous. I guess it was because they thought I was old enough now so I could earn myself some money. I did try to get a job, I really did. But no one wants to hire someone who's wearing raggy clothes that has holes in them or who smells like a dumpster, so I had to try to earn money in different ways. Okay, now I don't like talking about this part. You see, I had to sort of break the law. I stole. I'm not proud of it, but sometimes I would go to a grocery store or a supermarket and I would steal some food. But I couldn't help it. I was starving, and if I didn't steal that food, then I would die. But then again, stealing isn't always the answer. Anyway, I managed to steal myself some nice clothes and some soap, and I prepared myself for my first job interview. It was at this huge company, and I was going to be working as a low-paid assistant. But I was fine with that. As long as I could earn myself enough money to get by, I was happy. I got ready for my first job interview. I was wearing some long pants and a jacket. When I entered the room, I was so scared the employer would realize I was actually a homeless person in disguise, but they didn't seem to suspect anything. The interview went great. They told me they would call me if I got the job, but I didn't have a phone, so instead I asked them to send it to my email. And after that, each night I would log onto a computer at a nearby internet cafe, whose owner was a good friend of mine. He didn't care that I was homeless and let me use the computer to check my email. Days passed and I didn't get any email. I was starting to think I would stay homeless forever, but then on the 5th day after the interview, I got an email from the company. It read, "Congratulations! You got the job. Please report to the building tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp for your first day at work." I was so excited. I told the owner of the internet cafe I had got the job, and we hugged each other and were jumping up and down for joy. Then I returned home, or rather the pile of cardboard boxes that I called home, and told my friends who were homeless too. Some looked jealous, but a lot of them were so happy for me. Finally, I was going to earn some money. The next day I got ready wearing the same clothes as before, and I even made sure to wash myself in the river nearby, so I didn't smell on the first day at work. I walked over to the building since I had no car, and I couldn't afford a ticket for a bus, so I was kind of sweaty when I arrived. But the first day went fine. It was really easy. All I had to do was type up some number sheets and basically work as the boss's assistant, printing stuff, getting coffee, organizing meetings. It was pretty fun, too. I worked like that for a few months, and things ran smoothly. My boss was really nice, too, and I could tell he was super rich. For lunch every day, he would have some sort of expensive meal. One time, I saw him eating a bowl full of caviar. No one suspected I was homeless. As far as they were concerned, I was just a normal assistant with a normal house and a normal life. After a year of saving, I finally got enough money to rent a small place for myself. I was sad to say goodbye to my homeless friends, but I was also so happy to be able to actually live independently and earn money. For the first time in what seemed like forever, I had a roof over my head. But I still wanted more. I still wanted to earn more money. I still wanted more things, more objects, more possessions. I got greedy, and so I decided there was another way of earning money. A less honest way, but effective nonetheless. I could try to become a gold digger. I know, what a terrible idea, but at the time I was desperate for more money. And plus, there was a lot of wealthy guys at my workplace. There were so many opportunities to get money from them, so I decided to take it. First, I decided to practice with one of my colleagues. I actually searched online how to be a gold digger, and it said it was all about seducing them. Be charming, laugh at their jokes, even if they're not funny, and make sure you're really loving if they buy you anything so that you train them to buy you stuff again. Like a dog almost. My first practice was with a guy called Tony. He wasn't really rich, but he was well off. Richer than me, at least. I walked up to him one day and I complimented him on his tie. "That's a really nice tie. You look so cute in it." I smiled at him and batted my eyelashes. "Oh, thanks, Lola. It's pretty cheap. I got it at a yard sale," he replied. That was my cue. I started laughing a lot, even though that joke was really bad, and Tony seemed all embarrassed. But he was looking at me differently now, and I believed I had him under my snare. After that, it was easy peasy. I asked him out, and we went on several dates, and finally he started buying me gifts. First, a bouquet of flowers, then some jewelry, then we'd go out on holiday together. I was living the sweet life. Now, I didn't actually love Tony. He was pretty boring. But I loved his money, so I was fine with sacrificing my romantic life if that meant I had more money. But then Tony wanted to marry me. Now, like I said, Tony wasn't super rich. He was only slightly above average, and I had already planned my next action. I was going to go for the biggest of the lot. The richest of the richest. My boss. The thing was, my boss, Michael, already had a girlfriend at the time, so I needed to make a plan to break them up, and I had a good idea of how I could do that. You see, my boss's girlfriend and I look pretty similar. We have the same brown hair, same tall figure, same dark eyes. Both of our names even started with an L. Mine, Lola, and her name was Lily. Anyway, I had created a plan to frame her for cheating on Michael, and she was going to be kissing my boyfriend, Tony. Sounds confusing? Well, let me show you how I did it. First, set up a camera in a room at Tony's house while he was away. Then I asked Tony to come into the room. Beforehand, Lily had visited my boss at work, and she had left her jacket behind. I stole it, and I was wearing it now. Then I suddenly kissed Tony with the cameras recording everything. After I was satisfied I'd gotten enough pictures, I pushed Tony off and left without another word. He was so confused, but I guess he was still a little dazed from that sudden kiss. I went home, hopped on the computer, and started to edit the photos. I used a program that could blend two faces at once, and I got a picture of Lily and blended her face in with mine so that, in the end, it looked like she was kissing Tony, not me. Then I typed up an email to send to Michael. Here's what it said. "Michael, hi, it's Lola, your assistant. I know this may be hard to believe, but I've caught your girlfriend Lily cheating on you. You may be wondering how I know this. Well, I know because she's been cheating with my boyfriend, Tony. I've attached some pictures of them kissing. I caught them kissing when I walked into the room and have my phone with me, so I immediately snapped a few pictures as proof. I thought it was best if you knew. I know this sounds weird, but would you want to meet up for some coffee tomorrow? We could have a little chat. Warm regards, Lola." The plan was in motion. Michael replied back a few minutes later saying how shocked he was and that he was glad that I told him. He said he would be happy to meet me for coffee. The next day, he told me he had confronted Lily about it. "She pretended it didn't happen," said Michael. "And when I showed her the photos, she still said it didn't happen, even though the proof was right there. I can't believe this. I thought Lily was the one." "Don't worry, Michael," I said and smiled at him with my most charming smile. "You'll find someone new sooner than you may think." I saw him blush then, and I knew I had him wrapped around my little pinky. Pretty soon we were dating. He soon forgot about Lola, and he was treating me with all sorts of gifts. Things were going great. He was pretty nice too, and I think I actually liked him back. Then came the next phase of my plan. I needed to marry him. I kept hinting at him that I wanted to get married really soon, and then we had a romantic dinner at a fancy restaurant where I was pretty sure he was going to get down on one knee. And sure enough, he did. I said yes immediately, and then someone appeared at our table, and my plan was ruined. It was Lily. "Michael," she said, "don't marry this liar. I was framed for cheating on you." What? Michael was so shocked. "Don't listen to her, Michael. Trust me," I said. But then Lily pulled out a photograph, and I knew the game was up. "Look." Lily showed Michael the image. "This photo has been edited, and see this scar here on this person's hand? I don't have that scar." She suddenly grabbed my hand. "But Lola does. Michael, please, you have to trust me. Lola framed me." Well, that was it then. Michael was furious at me, and he immediately took the ring off my finger and told me we were through. Michael and Lily got back together. I, of course, was fired from my job, and I'm now very poor. I guess my plan to trick a billionaire into marrying me backfired. I'm poor, but I have hope. I'll find a way to make money again.